Well, this weekend marks the beginning of Hanukkah and almost 3 years since a Jewish man was tragically killed and several others were injured in a hate-filled machete attack on a group of men celebrating the holiday. And News 12's Jonathan Gordon is at Ramapo Town Hall tonight, where political and religious leaders came together, Jonathan, to commemorate this night. But they're also addressing the rise in anti-Semitism since then. We know the Anti-Defamation League of New York and New Jersey are presenting some new statistics tonight. Jonathan, what are you learning?
Yeah, well, the director of the New York, New Jersey Anti-Defamation League says that they've already received more instances of anti-Semitism through November of this year than they did all of last year. And that is a concerning trend for what the rest of the country might look like once the final numbers come in. The horrific attack on a group of Jewish men celebrating the 7th night of Hanukkah in Monsey 3 years ago, including the death of 72-year-old Joseph Newman, brought this group together.
Like the family celebrating 3 years ago, we must continue to celebrate our Jewish identity, even in the face of threats and violence.
And the current state of anti-Semitism in America motivates them for change.
Jewish people are not going to be conquered, are not going to be driven out by anti-Semites, are not going to succumb to hatred.
The Anti-Defamation League's annual audit of anti-Semitic incidents counted more than 2,700 anti-Jewish attacks across the country in 2021, a 34% increase from the year before, and the highest number since the ADL began tracking these incidents in 1979.
Hate starts with small acts that build up, and we all have a responsibility to stop that in its tracks.
The night followed the theme of Hanukkah, the festival of lights, and how togetherness will overcome the darkness of hate.
To send a message to all of those out here who will hate us, that there is more of us out there than there are of you.
Now, both the state case and the federal criminal cases against the alleged killer, Grafton Thomas, are expected to resume some point at the beginning of next year, and that's when we are expected to learn about whether or not Thomas is set to face trial. Last time he was in court, a pair of judges had ruled at both levels that he was not mentally fit to stand trial, and he's been at a mental health facility ever since.
And Jonathan, as we know, this week Governor Kathy Hochul just launched a hate and bias prevention unit to help respond to incidents similar to this. But how do we know this will help?
Yeah, well, the Human Rights Commissioner for the state was here, and she reaffirmed her dedication to fighting anti-Semitism here in the Hudson Valley and the rest of the state. Says that there is a plan to pour a lot of resources into this, and it is worth noting that that department already fields about 5,000 instances of anti-Semitism, of bias, broader than just anti-Semitism, but of bias every single year. So they have a lot of work to do ahead of them, try and get this all under control. We'll send it back to you.